Hey guys, and welcome, and thank you for joining me for today's shave. This is actually a Sunday night shave for me. I get up a little too early in the mornings to shave and to enjoy it on a normal weekday, so I usually shave at nighttime, and it happens to be Sunday night. So I'm really looking forward to tonight's shave, heading to the week with a great shave on my face. And as long as I get a close shave the night before, it lasts throughout the next day. And I feel like it's still even close the next morning when I wake up. I really can't feel too much growth by then. So anyway, I'm going to be using a few different things for tonight's shave. First of all, shaving soap, I'm going with RazoRock 1X. This is a fantastic scent. I really like this one. I have the Aftershave that I use once in a while from RazoRock. I had a previous version of this soap, but I've actually never used this puck. This is a new puck and like their new labeling. This came out a little while ago, so it's not that new, but nonetheless, first time using this puck today. For today's shaving brush, I'm going to be going with my PantaRei brush, which has the custom handle on here. As you can see here, sorry, my dog's here in the shave den with me tonight, and I just saw he was just peeing on the floor. He's about 4 months old. He's pretty much house trained, but today he was doing pretty well until right there. So this is Jefferson. He just peed, unfortunately. But here he is. So if you hear any rustling in the background, that is him down here playing, and he just peed, unfortunately. So, all right. So if you hear anything, that is him. So like I said, going with my PantaRei brush here. Nice ceramic handle here, custom painted. Really beautiful. I really like this knot. It's pretty wide. I think it's like 26 or 28 millimeters. I can't remember exactly. But it's the knot itself is down deep in the handle, so there isn't much loft on here, which is nice because it gives a nice amount of backbone. I really like that. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Chubby 2. It's not as densely packed as the Chubby 2 from Simpsons. But you can see both these are really wide knots without much height on the knots outside of the handle there, so it gives them both a nice amount of backbone. There we go. So I'm going with this, and then today I'm actually using a new razor I've never used before. This is the Parker 66R. Take a look at it here. Really beautiful handle. You can get it on Amazon. It's 32 bucks on there. It's a twist to open style razor. Really cool. I like this. And I've been reading about the Parker razors, these twist to open. It seems like they all pretty much have the same head on them. And these are supposed to shave a lot like the vintage Gillettes. Have one here somewhere. Here we go. So you can see that the heads are almost exactly the same, like literally exactly the same on there. And the Gillette, which I have used before many times, is a pretty smooth shaver. It's definitely on the mild side of the aggressiveness scale. So you can pair, usually in that razor I like pairing a sharper razor blade due to the mildness of the razor itself. So I put a perma-sharp blade in here. Those are pretty sharp, so I think that should work nicely in here as long as this does shave like the Gillettes, like I read that does. Alright, go ahead and get started. Just got a shower. Facial hair is nice, cleaned out, hydrated, ready to go. I always recommend using in the shower for your body and your face a really nice type of soap. You know, I try to stay away from like the Dove soaps and all those just kind of standard pharmacy, drugstore, grocery store soaps like that. I've been using recently Yardley, which is an English soap. My local grocery store happens to carry it. I can get two bars of the soap for $1.99. It's a tallow-based soap, excellent ingredient list. So that's what I've been going with recently. But you know, really look around. You can either also make my own soap at home, so I either use my homemade soap or Yardley. Those are pretty much what I've been using for the past few years. It's just better using that stuff for your skin overall, not only the skin on your face, but your whole body. They dry you out less. You know, for me, it just, I feel like it keeps my skin nice and not dried out and doesn't give me, I don't really react to soaps, but some people do, so just having a cleaner ingredient list is always good. So just use the Yardley tonight in the shower. My facial hair is still really nice and hydrated. I literally get out of the shower and come straight into the shave den, turn on the camera, and get going. Alright, so here's the puck of RazoRock 1X. And this was blooming while I was in the shower. Just put some hot tap water here on top of the puck and then take the bloom water, add it to my face. Alright, and after you use the bloom water, what I like doing is always cleaning off my hand with fresh water out of the tap, just because your hands can be slick with soap on it, and then you're going to be touching your shaving brush and your razor, and if you have soap on there, it just Just gonna make your hand slip on there a little bit so I get it nice and cleaned off. Dry off my hand, then I dip my hand on my alum block. There we go. Alright, going to the brush here, just gonna dip it one more time in the sink water, wring it out, nice gentle wring on it here. Alright, go ahead and load up. And I always spend a fair amount of time loading up here. Blooming your puck ahead of time makes it a little bit easier to load up, actually a lot easier to load up. But I like loading a lot of product into my brushes. I feel like it's easier to, well, it's much easier to underload a brush and not have enough shaving soap or cream in the brush, and you have to add more later, than it is overloading. You can definitely overload. I've done that a couple times ever, and that's just with really, really soft soaps and creams where you kind of put in there and it just gets tons in the brush, and then you have to add in a lot of water to develop the lather. But if you don't have enough soap in there, the lather can just get drowned out with soap and can get watered down with the big bubbles in there, which you really don't want. I've done that way more, so I always load up a ton. Alright, there we go. Nice amount loaded up here in the brush. You can see this lather is already coming off the puck here. Just take that, add it to your face, might as well. Alright, clean off the puck. There we go. Oh yeah, and the ingredients in this soap. So first ingredient is stearic acid, then coconut oil, then tallow acid, which is great. I really do like RazoRock soaps. Their scents are amazing, and the performance is great. But I feel like specifically their soaps with tallow in there perform better than the ones that are just like stearic acid and coconut oil based. So I definitely steer towards those RazoRock soaps and Italian Barber soaps more. And this one has tallow in there as a third ingredient, so I do expect good performance from this. And then potassium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, perfume, a little bit of menthol in there, and then alpha isomethyl ionone, citral, limonene, linalool, citronellol, coumarin, geraniol, hexyl cinnamol, and hydroxycitronellol. So I actually spoke with Joe from Italian Barber, kind of asking what some of those are, and those are just kind of like baseline fragrances. Cause I was like, those sound kind of like preservatives in there. So, and I looked them up online, and they do have some preservative qualities, but they're added for scent in soaps. And actually, as I've looked around, there's actually a lot of manufacturers out there that use those. Anyway, just a side note there. All right, go ahead into a face lather. This lather is developing very nicely. I think it can stand a little more water in there. I think that I can up the volume a little bit more. Alright, very happy with this lather. I hope you guys can see this. Very voluminous, very slick. It feels great. At least it feels slick. We'll see shave how it does. Alright. Alright, first pass with the grain. First time using this razor. Make sure it's nice and tightened up. Alright, looks good. Alright, with the grain. When I'm feeling out a razor for the first time, I just use really light pressure. Because even though a razor can feel mild on the skin, sometimes it can have some bite to it. I'm not saying that this razor has bite to it, but sometimes they still can. So you still need to be careful with it as you're figuring out how a new razor shaves. When I'm doing my sideburns, all I do is I take the safety bar on the razor, I line it up roughly where I want my sideburn to be. Here, without the blade engaged on my skin, I add the incline that I'm going to shave at. I go down. Makes a really nice clean line. So far, I'd agree with what I read about this shaver. It's on the mild side. It does remind me of the vintage Gillettes. For sure. Alright, great first pass here. Feeling good, no irritation. It's not really close. Sometimes with aggressive razors, after the first pass, I feel like, wow, that was already really close. I just kind of need to clean up a few areas. If you guys can hear this, still a fair amount of stubble to take off. It definitely got through the first layer, but still a fair amount of work here to do to get this to be a close shave. Alright, going back to the brush here. Get a little more alum on my hand. Applying second lather. When I'm applying second and third lather and for my cleanup pass, you don't really have to work it into your skin or your facial hair because the majority of the hair is off already. I'm just kind of applying it just for the slickness and the protection of the lather. Alright, second pass, cross grain this direction. Alright, now that's feeling a lot closer. Oh yeah, much better. And this next pass will get even better. Good slickness from the soap. I really do like these RazoRock soaps with tallow in them. I feel like they perform great. And, you know, their other soaps do perform really nicely too, but just the fact that they have two formulations, well, more than that, but two main formulations, one with tallow and one without tallow. I feel like they've created kind of their own platform for comparison among their own products. And for me, I pretty much stay away, except for my favorite ones, the ones that don't have tallow in there. Like their Essential Lime is just incredible. That's my favorite lime soap by far. And that one, unfortunately, does not have tallow in there, but I still use it just because I love the scent so much. Alright, third pass, cross grain the other direction. This razor has a really long handle on it, much longer. I tend to prefer razors with shorter handles on it, so that's what I'm used to using. This one has such a long handle. I have to adjust the way I shave a little bit, but it's really not that big of a deal actually. I'm just kind of choking up on it. It's actually working out just fine. Alright, now with my 3 full passes in, this is feeling very close. Really happy with how that is. No irritation, no nicks. I'm even going over a few areas here I had a little bit of irritation from previous shaves. I shaved a couple days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, with my Merkur 37C, the slant head razor. So I got a little bit of water here. And after that shave, it had been a few days since I had shaved, and I just tore up my neck a little bit. Just a few little nicks here and there, but it was a really close shave. Anyway, feeling good. Still want to clean up a little bit. I think my neck is good. Gonna leave it there. Actually, my mustache area is feeling pretty good too. Chin's feeling pretty good. I'm gonna go over these areas just a little bit more because I like this area, like my goatee area, just a little bit closer. Alright, to the brush, pulling out the lather that's left in there. Amazing. Let's see if we get peak on it. Oh yeah, really thick lather with this stuff. This is a pretty masculine cologne. Good amount of citrus in there, and there's something else. There's like thyme or something. It's really nice. I really do like the whole X series, 1X, 2X, and 3X from RazoRock. Alright, I'm going to keep the lather in this hand, the razor in my right hand, clean up any areas. Want to get a little bit closer. This razor is very comfortable in these cleanup passes because it's so mild. Not really worrying about irritation here. I'm using really light pressure, but it's very, very comfortable. Alright, it feels good. I'm going to leave it there. Go ahead and get cleaned up. Alright, great shave. Very comfortable, no irritation, no nicks anywhere, and very close. Not like the closest shave I've ever had, but still very close and very comfortable. Sometimes the hairs that certain razors leave behind on your face, if there's any left, they're kind of a sharp end to them. One razor particularly that leaves sharp hairs behind, if there's any, is the Icon Slant, the 102. This one, like, even when your hairs grow in over the next day, you notice when they come out, they're sharp. They have an edge to them. You can just feel like a little bit here, because I don't go against the grain since my skin is so sensitive. That's why I got into safety razor shaving in the first place. So you can feel against the grain, it's not perfectly smooth. I think you guys can hear that. Anyway, but the hairs don't feel sharp at all. This shaves a lot like these Gillette, almost exactly like the vintage Gillette razors. It was a pleasure to shave with. I like that. Skin feels good. A little bit of scent left behind on my skin from the soap, but it did great. Nice protection. Alright, we go with an alcohol-based aftershave. I'm going to get one actually down here from my cabinet. Forgot to grab it ahead of time. I don't know why, just wanted to go with this today. This is the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements and Italian Barber collaboration, Vloid. Gonna mix that up a little bit. There you go. A few dabs. Apply it to my face. Alright, a little bit of burn, but that has a good amount of menthol in it. I think it has menthol. It sure does feel like it does. It must. Yeah, menthol. It's got alcohol, rose water, essential and fragrance oils. It's got a little bit of alum, aloe, glycerin, and menthol. So aside from just being an aftershave that is alcohol based, which I think is really nice, putting astringent on your skin after shaving, yeah, it definitely has menthol. I'm blinking because of it. It always irritates my eyes just at first, whatever menthol I use. Also has these other things in here that I mentioned at the end, the alum, aloe, glycerin, and menthol. So it has some nice skin conditioning properties to it. Alright, so I'm just going to leave it at that. It's summer months right now and my skin has not been dried out. Usually I'd put on an aftershave balm. I use usually Sterling or Soap Commander. Those are my favorites. Just unscented. But I'm not going to go with anything because my skin's been doing fine in the summer. Sorry about the blinking. That menthol is getting me a little bit. Anyway, that was it. Thank you for joining me for today's shave, and please stay tuned. More videos to come. Alright, thanks for watching.